Hello, hello, and goodbye. Hello, and welcome. Hello, and welcome. We got some noise out here. We are sitting outside. We are having some people come in here. We are talking about family constellations. We are going live. We are going live. So it is the beginning of the new. It's the beginning of the coming together of the masculine and feminine. It's like kind of weaving together. So this next retreat kind of represents like we are allowing the masculine to kind of come back in. The world has been kind of very feminine for a while. Feminine means like focus on the family and everybody in the family. So that has been needed to have a focus of the whole family, the feminine. But then we also need the masculine, which is the direction. We need both sides to be able to kind of see where we're going and then to live the ease of life, daring to accept life and to allow life to guide you home. That is what we are doing here. We are kind of allowing life to find our way home. And our home is like heaven, like paradise within, enjoying life. And the masculine often has been the place of just going for it, opening up, just forcing it, just doing it. Well, the feminine is a little bit more like wanting it to kind of, not just rush in. So before, I've had people that kind of came in really fast, like one on one, like, you're my teacher, like, I'm here, I want to do this. But now the feminine is a little bit more like you come in kind of a little gradually, a little bit. You're not stressing it. You're just kind of a little bit at a time. But at the same time, even the little bit at a time, we still have to dare to kind of say yes, say to simplify. It's a little bit like calling the supervisor. We kind of are in this getting renewed passport for the baby, and in the process you call because suddenly there was a delay, and suddenly they're like, oh, we're just going to email you and or mail you, and that's just how it is. The system, that's just how it is. So if the system works for you, then boom, you can do it. That's the masculine, the system. But sometimes you have to be like, well, can I talk with the supervisor? And if you talk with the supervisor, you see that they have some extra tricks in the book. So when you come in and just come in and it just fits you, some people are just like, oh, it fits right away. Other people come in and be like, well, it doesn't totally fit. You're not in the same city, you're online, or I have other stuff. So then it's easier to just go into be like, I don't really have time, and I don't really want to be triggered. I don't really want to, let go of anything. So it's like the little baby who just like, no, it fits or it doesn't fit. That's a little bit like masculine, be like, it fits, or else I'm just gonna seclude myself and go into the woods and cut it out. But then when we realize the magic, the ease of life is actually like to kind of go beyond the ego, we have to dare to kind of be guided a little bit beyond that which is just easy. That means that we have to dare to commit and say, well, I'm ready to be here, and daring to be moved beyond. And that is so easy, and yet you need the supervisor. So we have that the mindset of just like, this is who we are, the ego, but then the spirit or the soul or our being is like beyond that. So that is, it's easier. So it's easier to go beyond, and yet without kind of asking for simplicity, you won't really find simplicity. So you have to dare to commit, go in and be like, I want it. So that is where the teacher is kind of the guide to simplicity. So that is that connection to that simplicity. And yet at every level, we also have to look at what is going on in our life. So then we have different roles, and we kind of take it on. We can think we have different spiritual traditions or different societies, but our naturalness is actually family. We kind of trained in naturally have different roles in the family we take on, and we copy our parents and our grandparents and our brothers and sisters. So the dad is just kind of the doer, of the protector of the family, who just does. And then the grandfather is a little bit like, well, we can simplify it, but the grandfather is also the one who wants to like everyone to be taken care of financially. Financially, it's just like we need the simplicity of just everybody needs to get paid. And then the mother is kind of claiming the little family. This is my family. Then the grandmother is actually saying like, well, I have many grandkids, and I want them all to be taken care of, but they might be different. So they might not all want to play together, and we're not going to all maybe mix and match always. I see my grandmother, she kind of dared to kind of commit. She was first like her dad, like just out traveling. She like traveled. My great grandfather, he was just traveler. So she also just didn't really commit to being a mom until like her last child. Then she suddenly be like, okay, I want to be here. She was more like a grandparent first, where she just took care of all the kids everywhere. But sometimes when you take care of all the kids, then you have to accept that some kids won't feel nourished. So that is where like when you take care of too many people, then you're not gonna get to take care of those closest to you. So everybody has these different different balances of where they are. Like, we both have the masculine, where we're like, oh, I'm just good at doing some of these things. See if this is still on. Yeah, we're good at doing these things. So everybody has things they're good at doing, and sometimes you're good at knowing. I just want to know, I want to teach. But then there's the other side, where you want to take care of people. And feminine, you want to be close to some people. Then if you want to be close, then how many you can be close to depends on if you're able to bring more people together. It's kind of what we do here. It's here there's some people that came in earlier when there was more, like the table had less legs to stand on. As it expands, then it has more legs to stand on, so more people can come in. That's like the grandmother. and then you need the financial, it needs the spaces and the affordability to have it. So to build something kind of takes time, and that's like you kind of build a home, whether it's a or just a, you know, a boyfriend, or with kids, or a bigger with the house, and it kind of depends. But we're all kind of, we have these things that we have to kind of play out. So we might just take on something from my masculine side and something from the feminine side, and some people take on more, my life is about doing, so they go just to one side, and other people come into, oh, many people in here. We got this on Patreon too. So many people, you will kind of choose, sometimes we choose more the feminine, which is like not working. My mom and dad kind of found more the feminine side. My dad had the masculine side of just working, but then the feminine side then is to kind of there to be a father, there to be a husband, there to submit to his woman. And then my mom, she had the masculine side of just, yeah, she became a nurse, but then she struggled a little bit with surrendering to being a mom until my brother became sick, and then yeah, she had to kind of let that go, and there to surrender and to the family, to the kids. Well, then you surrender to the kid become the most important. And then when you really kind of come into it, then you have to go through the emotions of the mother, has to meet to really become a stable loving center. Then you awaken the emotions, which is can be tough, because that's a little bit of a, that could be a little shit show to having to go through them. But then you see, like, as she worked through them and my dad surrendered, and if my mom had just been like traveling and working like she was planning on, when everything was just nice and dandy, then my dad would have just like been just like doing stuff and fixing stuff like he's doing now. Some like his kind of yearning is just to help people, so he just would have helped her, but then he had to actually surrender and just become the father that is just there, and he just works and not just fixes everything, but he works, and he kind of is a balance. So they take each their side, and then you can see that they find bliss in that she surrendered to being a mom and he surrendered to being a dad, that they're content in their thingy. So as we kind of go deeper into the body, which is the feminine, then we will kind of see these roles, how we as we come in deeper into the body, we start to connect with these roles of ourselves, the creation of family, or the creation of of a house, or a creation of a garden. And then gradually we might have a creation of a dog, or different things, or family in different ways, or friends, or your mom and dad, or different stuff. So this creation kind of, we have kind of lost a little bit touch with the importance of it. So we've gotten into this kind of spoiledness of just wanting to just totally be just spoiled and just wanting to choose ourselves. But since we don't have a direction, we kind of lose the mask and the focus. Then what is the purpose? There is no purpose. There is just you. You just do whatever you feel like. but then that kind of can lead you just to be, since there is power within you, then you can kind of be pulled into different traditions or directions that is not necessarily constructive or conducive for your own self. If you give away all your power, you get sick because you, or you get like drained, or you kind of die because you, or you just lose the purpose of life because you just give it away. So sometimes you need like the motivation to dare to see. We need to know and understand and refine the purpose of life. That is where when we dare to keep going with that and dare to see, like, well, maybe things can be simplified. Maybe we can get those tweaks. That's when we open up to faith. And that's where the ease of life comes in. That's when suddenly we find the gates, the hidden gates. Yeah, but there has to be a way. That's where suddenly, like, we can get a house like this suddenly, like in 2 weeks, or suddenly split second. Suddenly things appear like magically. It's not, it's almost just, it's always there. But if you don't dare to open to the potential, then you will never find it. Sometimes you still find them, but you won't really see the entirety of this path. So everybody finds different things and do this, but do different lives, but they are kind of not necessarily. It's like my mom and dad found this path in a way. They're not no, aware of the wisdom of the path, because we don't want to preach and we don't want to tell people how to live. Just want everybody to just get lost on their own, and if you're lucky, you will find your way. But luck has to kind of be open to. You have to, if you open up to luck, that's where then you start to experience the luck of life. You have to dare to say, I'm feeling some heaviness now, but maybe tomorrow it will all be shifted. You have to dare to open up. So that's where, like, yeah, everybody, now this, when we have these flows of energy opening, then people come in and wonder, like, well, what's going on? So, but everything kind of, sometimes we have to go down into the energy of things. And now a lot of you guys are like suddenly more in your family or more surrendered to different things. It can feel a little heavy when you get into the family energy, because it's kind of dark and feels kind of uncomfortable. But then when you realize that there is a purpose to this, then, because there's a retreat coming in August in Norway, or online, we probably will be online too, for people, if they, wherever you are in the world and you kind of want to tune into it. So that is where the ease of life is kind of the luck of life, that they're into, to realize that there's magic. So that is kind of what we're teaching here. Very easy, simple, and natural. Yeah, so the connection is kind of, to keep coming and to dare to open up, and but it's not to believe everything right away. It's not like I'm just going to go into the monastery, I'm just going to commit, and I'm going to, but it's a gradual growing. I mean, it's a little bit like a little bit at a time, because when there's energy, like every little opening of magic, you also have to let it through the system, and then you can feel a little sick afterwards, or you can feel like stuff is working on your throat or your chest, or there can be some pain, or like stuff is working. So we're also integrating, we're eating this energy, and we're letting it kind of digest it. So then you get kind of full, after eating a burger, and you're like, okay, I'm like, need to to relax a little bit. So some of you are just taking that more, getting used to the feminine also, where like you can't just work all the time or do stuff all the time. You just have to also enjoy like not doing anything. That's where the sickness is one, that feeling. But after a while you feel like, oh, today is just, there's a non-doing day. So we're kind of opening up to all these different, and some people are just like the kid who just want to be spoiled and just want to be just pulled along. But then we're talking about these different roles because they, you have them all within you. There are different gates in you, and then when you dare to kind of not just be like, well, this is just stuck, or this is my dad, or this is just, there's no purpose and it's just annoying. But then suddenly when you dare to open up, then suddenly you might find that is the luck of life. Maybe we should just call it the luck of life. The luck of life sounds good. So good. Well, as always, as in my talks, there's always when people come in, whether you're new or old or heard about this, maybe somebody send you this link, or you find it later as you come in on Patreon or YouTube, wherever. There's a, there's an energy. It isn't just words. There's an energy to behind everything, and that energy is what actually attracts us to everything. When you'll be like, why am I interested in this person, not that person? There's energy connections, different, why do I like to do that and not that? Why do I feel excited about, why do I like this food? There's energy connections. So when we start exploring that, we start to enjoy, like, see the magic that is the body, and that we're all kind of different paths. But then when we can start seeing the entirety of it, it becomes more easy to enjoy, like that everybody has different paths, and then we can accept everybody's path, and but also have to dare to see that, come on in and dare to open up to the enjoyment of it, and to open up to the luck of it, the luck of life. So with that said, just open your eye or close your eyes, and like, let's take it in. If you're sitting on a chair like me, or if you're laying on the table or on the bed or on the floor or on the couch, just drop your shoulders a little bit more. It's like, kind of like we're letting this, we've kind of eaten the burger, and now we kind of are settling into letting it kind of sink into the body, sink into the shoulders. Then it gets like a little heavy on the shoulders, and almost a little pain or a little stiffness suddenly, something to feel, because you're allowing the body to kind of come in. Yeah, and then it's like this breath that comes in. We can be and feel and see, and then there is life. The breath of life comes in. We have the luck of life, and then we have the breath of life. It becomes alive, and then the wind comes in. It's just suddenly there's like a, whether inside of, it's like almost like an emptiness, but it's almost like a breeze, like a cool wind touching your face, or you can feel in your fingers, like, just like you get a little cold, like, ooh. When the rain comes in, you're like, oh, it feels like a little colder. What's going on? And it dances on your face and your shoulders and your feet and in the back of your neck. It's almost like, when you get a tingling, like somebody's blowing in your neck, and you're like, ooh, you get a little freeze. Or between your toes, or between your legs, so it comes down. Yeah, so drop your shoulders, open them up a little bit more, and lift your hips a little bit, like shake them a little bit. It's almost like we're kind of like a cat who's just like, or when you sleep, you're just kind of having to move a little bit because there's like, yeah, it's like something is kind of moving through the body. This energy is just wanting to kind of move through. So you have to kind of collaborate. That is the luck of life. You have to say yes to breathing, yes to luck, yes to life. Yeah, lift up your hips a little bit more. Shake your shoulders a little bit more. Stretch, open your jaw a little bit more. It's like a yawn coming as like the whole body opens, and you just like allow that bigger breath to just like see, like, sink in. And then the sounds comes in, or it's like ringing in your ears, or it's almost like colors or bubbles in your vision, or just like a feeling you can look out, and it's almost like an expansiveness or silence in the space as it just comes in again from up between your legs and up, filling your belly, filling your chest, up into your shoulders, up into your head and jaw. And now today you can just open. You might have your eyes open and just might just see the gaze, the trees in the far back, or just as like on the train when it's just like far away, or there's like a smell of wood, or smell of bamboo, or smell of, yeah, smell of paint. Anyway, there's like kind of vacation feelings in Norway now and other places, depending where you are. We're kind of like a month away till to retreat in August. We will next week we will probably be on the airplane if it's moving in that direction. But so we probably won't be on here, but I will let you know. But also we probably will, yeah, have some, the energy is starting to start. So we're starting to, people might be pulled into family or different stuff or sickness or different stuff as the body's starting to receive the energy. So with that said, let me know how you slept or how you're going to sleep tonight or where you are, what's going on. As you might, some of you might be like, I don't want to reach out, or I want to reach out, or different stuff. Like there's stuff I need to tell or say or whatnot. So with that said, um, if you are new here, it's good to see you. Welcome. I hope you come back, and come back into the Patreon, the sanctuary, if you want to come there, or come online for the retreat in August, or physically in Norway. And for everybody who's already signing up or has their different ways of how often, how many days can I be there, and am I coming the weekend or just a week? All these different fun things that has to kind of put itself out there. So with that said, we're done for today. And it was beautiful to see everybody. And see you soon.